this video is a new routine which I'd like you to try. It's totally different concepts. Keep an open mind, because it blew my mind when I went through these steps. The first motion that I want you to learn is just a simple action, but it embodies everything that this routine is about. And I call it, other people call it, the salt shaker. So if you pretend like you're salting your food, pretend you're a saltaholic like I am. Thumb down. Let's shake salt with both hands. It can go together or separate, doesn't matter. But we all can do that very naturally. And while you're shaking your salt, I want to point out to you what you're doing that is so amazing. Your humerus bone is rotating. Your bicep is going down, up, down, up, down, up while you're doing this salt shaker thing. When your hand goes down, your elbow goes up slightly. When your hand goes up, your elbow goes down slightly. And when we start thinking about it, we start screwing it up. So try to do it on autopilot and then notice what you're doing. That's very neat. Do you see how my elbow is bobbing up and down? And actually, this is the center of the teeter-totter. Other people call this a teeter-totter, and this is the fulcrum of that teeter-totter. And do it on both hands. It's less tiring, it's more balanced, and it's good for both arms. So that's the salt shaker. Next, we do need our violin, but not our bow. So we're gonna do this routine in 5 different postures. The first posture is in guitar position. Then we're going to move it to the right, like a bow and arrow, to the right shoulder. And then to center chest. I know it's crazy. Just keep an open mind. It's powerful. Center chest, left shoulder, and then finally violin position. The idea is that we're going to slowly seduce your muscles into accepting this position of vibrato, the unnatural position of vibrato. So that's 5 positions. Guitar, right shoulder, center chest, left shoulder, violin position. In each of those positions, you're going to exercise the middle part of your fingerboard, what I call purfling position, and you're going to exercise first position. So 2 spots on the fingerboard for 5 different postures. That's 10 routines. You're going to give every finger a turn, and you're going to try to give every string a turn. So this is a ton of repetition in slightly different settings, and if you do them all, they'll be on your worksheet that will benefit you. Okay, so let me show you what the routine is. In guitar position, we're just going to slide up and down the neck. Now, keep your right hand under the violin like you're carrying books. I usually teach rest position like this, but this is a little bit better position. It keeps your scroll a little bit lower. And that's my preference. Your thumb will be on the top, or the side portion of your neck, which is now the top because of how you're holding the violin. And you'll go ahead and allow your index knuckle to make contact for this step only. Only for this step. And you're just going to slide up and down a few inches in the middle of your fingerboard, right around purfling position. Don't go up high to where your wrist has to kink. That won't do you a lot of good. Eventually we do, but for right now, just keep it really easy. And just slide and notice, look at my salt shaker action. Elbow out, elbow in. It's very slight. It doesn't have to be huge, but just allow your humerus bone to move around and reciprocate motion. Let it be alive. Let it rotate and rock. Okay? So that's step 1, is just sliding up and down the neck. While you maintain your arm motion, Stick your thumb to the neck, but try to keep the forearm moving. And to me, it really helps for me to slap the strings or flop my fingers around a little bit. And it takes a while to tune this in. Keep trying while I talk. Move your forearm. Smack the strings a little bit because your fingers are so relaxed. You're no longer touching with the side of your index knuckle. We only do that when we're sliding up and down the neck. Slap the strings, and then choose which finger you're going to glue, because the next step is to glue a finger. So you find, I'm going to do second finger, and I recommend that you do too. Keep your finger going, or keep your forearm going, and prepare to put your second finger on the D string. Okay, so get your second finger going up and down the D string, and when I say stick it, you're going to stick it to the fingerboard. Ready? And stick it. And keep the forearm going. You're still as relaxed as you can be while trying to keep this finger in one place. It's a very slow vibrato, and your arm is still moving, and your index knuckle is not touching. That's the routine. You're going to do it in 5 positions, in 2 spots on the fingerboard, giving each finger a turn and giving each string a turn. So in guitar position, I would do the middle section of fingerboard, purfling position, giving each finger a turn and each string a turn. And then while in guitar position, I'd do first position, giving each finger and each string a turn. Okay, so let's do a different finger, and let's just do third finger this time. So try to help me remember what the steps are. We're in guitar position, we're in purfling section of the fingerboard. You're just moving 2 inches or so. Thumb is on the side of the neck. Index knuckle can touch. You can let your fingers whoosh over the surface of the strings, or you can have them in the air at this point. Whatever keeps you the most relaxed. Now when I say stick your thumb to the neck, up here in the throat of the neck. Not down here, because we want to be right here, okay? So slide up and down the neck, and now, ready? Stick the thumb, but try to keep your forearm going. And you're going to smack the strings because your fingers are so loose they're jiggling. Now pick your third finger and find the D string and let it start sliding up and down the D string while you're still moving your forearm. And now you will stick your third finger, moving your forearm still, not touching the index knuckle, and keeping everything relaxed. Okay, so you do that on all 4 fingers, all 4 strings. Now let's move down to first position. And we're going to slide with the thumb on the side of the neck. You can touch with your index knuckle. You can have your fingers in the air. You can have them whooshing over the strings, as long as it's easy peasy and light as a feather. Okay, when I say stick the thumb, you're going to stick it wherever your thumb is in first position. Ready? And stick your thumb and go ahead and spank those and go ahead and stick your thumb, but let your fingers keep moving up and down the neck, smacking the strings if they want, or painting the strings. Now pick your first finger. Let's do first finger. Let's do the A string. And when I say stick it, you're going to stick your finger in first position. Ready? And stick one. Look at my elbow. And once I thought about it, it stopped doing the awesome salt shaker motion. But you try to keep your arm active because it's going to give you a beautiful loose vibrato with the bigger muscles participating. I'm not describing an arm vibrato, but the arm is helping to support the wrist vibrato that we've so carefully developed. And some people will have more arm, some people will have less arm, and it's fine. It kind of shakes out very naturally for your body type. Okay, so that's guitar position. Now let me show you the right hand bow and arrow. So remember how I had you in rest position like you were carrying books? Carefully pin the violin to the front of your right shoulder. It's a very odd position. And let's do the middle of the fingerboard. And we will go, you can have it over slightly. You don't need to be bolt straight forward. You can cock it over to the left a little bit. Slide the thumb up the side of the neck. Index knuckle can touch. And when I say stick your thumb, stick it at the throat of the violin, but keep your fingers flopping. Ready? Stick it. And my thumb is kind of going crazy, but it's pretty much stuck in one position. You can smack the strings or you can paint the strings. I kind of like painting, but really, whatever keeps you loosest. Now let's pick second finger again, and let's put it on the A string. Find that A string, shake your forearm, and now stick your second finger and try to keep your forearm moving. See how my forearm and my elbow are still doing little miniature salt shakers. It feels like it's going to be the craziest, awfulest vibrato, but it's not going to be. Okay, so that was second finger on the A string. You do all four fingers, all four strings in the right shoulder position. Then you do first position, and that's a little bit more of a reach. It's okay, it's good for you. So let's do first position in the right shoulder bow and arrow position. Go up and down the neck. We're not in violin position at all, and that's okay. So my forearm is parallel to the ground. Index knuckle is touching at this point. When I say stick the thumb, stick your thumb, but let the index finger break away, okay? Ready? And stick your thumb and flop those fingers around. They can be in the air for right now, and eventually go ahead and start lightly painting the strings. Let's pick ring finger, and let's do the A string again. And ready? Stick your ring finger and keep your forearm going. Okay, if you get tired, you won't be able to do all of these in one sitting. Anybody would get tired. So if you're tired, push pause, because this is the nutshell version of what can take 2 weeks or longer. I don't think anyone would make it through in less than 2 weeks, but you might. Okay, so then we move to center chest position. Make the violin face forward. I'm holding the violin with my right hand in the C bout. Okay, so let's do middle position. Thumb on the side of the neck. Index finger is touching. Now don't start doing weird things with your wrist. Your wrist is still just absolutely straight, even though the violin is in a crazy position. Look, my wrist is straight. Wrist is straight. None of this, none of that, none of this. Okay, get into middle chest position. Focus on a straight wrist. And slide up and down the middle part of the fingerboard. Look at my salt shaker. Look at my upper arm participating. Okay, and then we're going to stick our thumb. Go ahead and stick it. And keep trying to go up and down the fingerboard with your fingers. And let's pick second finger and stick it to the A string. Ready? A string, stick it. Keep your wrist straight and keep trying to move your forearm. See, my little salt shaker is still going. My scroll is going a little bit crazy. That's okay. Okay, and you do all four fingers, all four strings, and then do it in first position. Then you move to the left shoulder. We're getting very close to real violin position. Rest your shoulder, pause if you need to. You're still holding your violin with your right hand. Let's go up and down the middle part of the fingerboard. The wrist is straight, no S curves, no kinks. But the thumb is on top and index finger can be across from the thumb touching. When I say pin the thumb, then you have to let go of the index finger, okay? Ready, and pin the thumb. And let the hand keep going crazy. Let's paint the fingerboard a little bit. Keep your forearm moving. And when I say stick your finger, let's stick third finger to the D string. Find that D string. And ready, stick your ring finger. And keep your forearm moving. Okay. All four fingers, all four strings, middle position and first position. Okay, now we're ready for the violin posture, the very last step of this routine. Something changes when we go to violin posture, and that is at the very end of the routine, you have to let go with your right hand and grab your bow, and we're going to play a note. So, originally, I was going to have you do the whole routine with your right hand holding, and then I was going to have you do the whole routine with your right hand not holding. I've changed my mind. So I'm refilming this segment. I want you to keep holding with your right hand until the last moment when we go to get our bow, because I want you to have that stability until the very last moment. Eventually, if you want to get creative and do this whole routine, look, Mom, no hands, and do it without the right hand touching at all. That's a good step, but I want you to first master having the absolute stability and then grabbing the bow. When you grab your bow, I'd like you to grab it by the lapping, because it's closer to the balance point. You're going to have a more stable bow stroke for a pretty crazy vibrato that you're going to be doing. So set your bow down, hair side down. Don't put it in a pile of butter like one of my students did. Hair side down, ready to grab, and let's do the violin position. Okay, hold your violin with the thumb on top, fingers on the back, just like you did down here. Nothing has changed. Boom. It's very comfortable. And go up and down the fingerboard, the middle section of the fingerboard. You can touch with your index knuckle. Now you're going to stop your thumb at the throat, but the forearm keeps moving and your fingers are jiggling and painting the top of the fingerboard. When I say, you're going to stick your second finger to the A string. So go ahead and find the A string with your second finger and stick it. Now grab your bow. Quickly grab your bow by the lapping and play. It's a pretty rough vibrato, but isn't it cool? You're moving, it's oscillating, and it's balanced, and it's relaxed, and it's big and fat. So, rookie mistake is to pin your finger too high above the purfling. Don't make that mistake. If you need to put a tape right around the purfling or a little round sticker or something, just to give you a reminder that you don't want to stick up here, because that's, yes, we want to develop our vibrato up there, but not right now. We want to develop the easiest possible vibrato. So let's do it again. Hair side down. This time we'll let ring finger be the sticking finger. Go up and down the neck, touching index and thumb. Stick your thumb, but keep going crazy with your forearm and swinging that salt shaker. Paint those strings, find your ring finger, find the A string with your ring finger, and stick it and grab your bow. And pull a bow stroke. Keep going as long as you'd like. It's kind of neat, isn't it? the better shoulder rest you have, or even if you're not using a shoulder rest, the better skill you have of balancing your instrument, the better this routine is going to work for you. If you have chronic lack of control with your violin, you might need to explore chin rest and shoulder rest. That's a big process. So keep that in mind. Let's do one more, and then we'll do a little bit in first position, and then we'll say goodbye and you'll continue to work. Okay, so get your bow ready. This time let's do first finger. So hold your violin, keep it stable, slide up and down. Your elbow is moving in and out. Bicep is kind of doing that, but not in a big way. When we do our final step and stick our finger, let's do a littler motion, but try to keep that forearm moving, okay? So keep a nice big motion, and now stick your thumb. Let the fingers continue to flop. The forearm is still moving. It's very relaxed. Paint the fingerboard a little bit. Find first finger on the A string. Go up and down. These are whooshes, basically. And now stick your finger and grab your bow. And don't stick too high above the purfling, and play. Make it smaller. I'd like to do that one more time with you. I keep making my motions too giant because I'm used to exaggerating for your sake. We're going to remember, when we stick our finger, we're going to go miniature. Okay, get your bow ready. Hold your violin stable. Let's go up and down the neck. Move that forearm. Rotate that humerus bone. Now stick your thumb. Keep flopping your hand though. Let's paint the fingerboard. This time I want to do second finger on the A string. So keep moving. Find the A string with your second finger. When I say stick it, go miniature. Stick it and grab your bow. This is small motions, and play. Keep going as long as you wish. Check your finger spot. Mine was right on the purfling. Yours shouldn't be more than an inch at the most above the purfling. If it is, it's putting too much torque, or too much, too much imbalance on your hand. So guard against those two things. When you pin your finger down, make miniature motions, and make sure you're not too high above the purfling. Let's do ring finger in first position. Push pause and rest if you need to. Okay, so support the violin up and down the neck. Thumb and index finger are just polishing the neck very nicely. Now stick your thumb, but keep polishing the fingerboard. Look at my elbow. My elbow is moving like crazy. We're going to find second finger on the A string. When I say stick it, you're going to make your motion miniature, and you're going to grab your bow. Okay? Stick it, miniature, grab your bow at the lapping, and play. Okay, I just remembered one more thing for you to guard against. You might write these down and put them on your stand. Make sure that your wrist isn't doing weird things, because we can get focused on this vibrato and then we don't even notice that we're cocked into the ulnar curve. I call it the dreaded S curve. Since I've learned more about anatomy, I now call it the ulnar curve. So that is a routine that if you practice it faithfully for, I would say, 3 days in every position, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's roughly 2 weeks. If you need longer, take longer. Constantly revisit the salt and pepper shaker. use the mitigating assistance of avoiding that balance point bouncy problem. So either start at the balance point or choke up on your bow hold, and then you can gradually learn to get to a normal bow hold. That's not the priority. The priority is getting to a real beautiful, relaxed vibrato. This crazy motion feels very uncontrolled at first. And I thought, oh, hogwash, when I first went through this exercise. But when I practiced after having attended the class and I went through all those motions, a problem that was starting to happen in my vibrato was solved. The problem was a little bit of herky-jerkiness. It was just too, it was spastic. It was, let me see if I can do it. I hate to even try because I don't want it to come back, but I can't do it anymore. Yay, that's a good thing. But it was a problem, and I was kind of puzzled, and I didn't know how to fix it. These exercises fixed it, and I was sold. And it made me realize there's motion, a teeter-totter, a salt shaker, a reciprocal motion always going on in our upper arm in everything we do in violin. Everything. And I've never known that before. But Roland pedagogy is based on that fact. Trust me if you will, and give these your attention and your time, and I can almost guarantee you wonderful, pleasing results. Okay, so I think I've said all there is to say, so I'm going to close this video, let you start working on it, and then you'll get another video of just some nice close-up shots of my vibrato, so you can see what it looks like in real time from every angle. All right, see you there.